Okay, now we are going to discuss chapter 8 tutorial question number 5. Okay, so the first question said, when two light sources of a common frequency are said to be coherent. So dia tanya, when, okay, bila awak ada two light source of common frequency are said to be coherent. Okay, first of all, you kena faham what is meant by coherent. Okay, so coherent maksud dia adalah when you punya two source of wave ada same wavelength and constant phase different. Okay, so dia tanya bila two light of source of a common frequency are said to be coherent. Bila awak punya two source of wave tu akan ada same wavelength and dia juga adalah constant phase difference. Okay, that is, so they are coherent. Okay, now the next question, what is the, okay, diminta relation between the state of coherence and the phenomenon of interference. What is the relation? So the relation is interference can occur only between overlapping of wave from coherent source. Okay, awak akan dapat interference itu, gangguan itu bila dia ada overlapping of wave daripada coherent sources. Maksudnya awak akan ada dua coherent source. Okay, maksudnya then only interference can occur bila awak punya coherent source tu adalah overlapping wave. Okay, now the next one, state two condition to observe interference of light. Okay, ini awak memang dah kena ingat, dalam handout pun ada. Okay, condition to observe interference of light adalah yang pertama, the source must be coherent. The sources must be coherent. Dan yang kedua, dia kena ada same amplitude. Then only kita akan dapat interference of light. Okay, beside another condition, awak boleh tulis slit is small enough. Okay, alright, so the next one, the question asks us to distinguish between constructive and destructive interference. So dia minta kita bezakan antara constructive dan destructive interference. So the answer you can obtain from your handout as well. So constructive interference, okay, constructive interference dia adalah reinforcement of amplitude that will produce a bright fringe. Remember, kalau bright fringe, kalau dia bright maksudnya dia adalah maximum. Whereas for destructive interference, dia adalah total cancellation. Okay, total cancellation of amplitude that will produce a dark fringe. So dark fringe dia adalah minimum. Constructive, dia adalah construct, dia membina. So bila dia membina, dia akan reinforce amplitude awak supaya dia akan produce a bright fringe. So bright fringe juga dikenali sebagai maximum. Destructive adalah menghapus. Jadi dia adalah total cancellation, menghapus total cancellation of amplitude yang akan producekan awak punya dark fringe, atau nama lain untuk dark fringe adalah minimum. Okay, so that is how you distinguish the difference between the constructive interference and destructive interference. Okay, now let's look at question E. Figure 1 shows two paths. Okay, you will have two paths of coherent light. Okay, this is path A and this is for path B. Okay, from point A and B that produce interference pattern at point C. Okay, so the interference pattern will produce at point C. So the question asks us to determine whether it is constructive or destructive interference if AC and BC are 2.2 lambda and 5.7 lambda. So how are we going to do this question? So how are we going to tackle this question? So we know path difference dia akan jadi BC. Okay, source BC ni tolak dengan AC. And BC is given with 5.7 lambda and AC is given with 2.2 lambda. So tekan calculator, you will get 3.5 lambda. So 3.5 lambda ini 3.5 ada setengah. So dia adalah 3 plus half lambda, your wavelength. So bila dia ada half ini, dia adalah destructive interference ataupun dia adalah constructive interference. Okay, dia adalah destructive interference. Okay, dia adalah destructive interference. Kenapa? Ingat balik formula path difference dia adalah M tambah dengan half lambda. Actually, dia adalah in phase destructive interference. Meaning maksudnya ni kan awak ada dua source kan, A and B kan. The first source awak ada 5.7 dengan 2.2 lambda. Okay, for example, awak kena buat lah, awak akan lukis dia. So sebenarnya bila dia start, dia akan start dengan in phase. Dia akan start dengan in phase, tapi dekat akhir sekali ni dia akan jadi anti phase. So ini maksudnya dia adalah destructive. Okay, dia akan menghapus, dan dia akan mula dengan in phase. Sebab itu dia adalah M tambah dengan half lambda. So dia adalah in phase destructive interference. Okay, so that's all for question number 5.